guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at every ability in Sonic Speed Simulator. There is almost over 20 abilities in this game, which is absolutely insane, and we're going to be going through each of them, starting with the spin dash and working our way up to things like the Chaos Spear. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoy, and let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we're starting it off basic. Let me just equip Sonic, it'll make a little more sense. So the first ability is a spin dash. Obviously everyone knows the spin dash, so yeah, just basic spin dash, boom. The next one is the homing attack. Yes, we're literally going through every single ability. So the homing attack, you guys know the homing attack, boop boop. The next one actually got added in Reborn, but it is the boost. Any character can boost along with the other two abilities we just went through. Alright, and then the last one before we move on to the actual extra abilities is the stomp dash. You guys may think this is called the stomp or maybe even the drop dash, but this is actually called a stomp dash, which is pretty odd, but that's what it says on the wiki, so that's just what I'm going by. The last time I did this video, people really disagreed that it was called like the drop dash and stuff, but I can almost assure you they called it something different, like the stomp dash, so I don't know. Very basic stuff. Those are really the basic things that we need to talk about. All the other things are just extra abilities, so let's really get started. Alright, so number 4 is water running. And no, I'm not talking about like boosting on water, although this is technically an ability, I guess, right? We're talking about when you be No Place Sonic or ESP Silver. This is a pretty OG one. You can just run on water, you can stand on water, you can emote on water. It's really cool, honestly. They should honestly give more skins this ability, I feel like. Wait, you can actually equip a car when you're on the water. What? That's so weird. It unequips it, but that's cool. And then also, if you guys didn't know, ESP can also stand on the water, which is really cool. So yeah, those are the only two skins I think that can stand on water, unless they've added more. I don't think they have though. Okay, wait, technically this new ESP Silver, I think he can stand on water. Alright, so the next ability is the electric boost. So with the electric boost, you have to be one of the 4 movie skins. So we had movie Sonic, movie Tails, movie Knuckles, and then series Knuckles. And if you boost as them, you'll notice the sound is actually kind of different, right? Not only that though, you actually go a lot faster than with a normal boost, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is exclusive to the movie skins. And also, I forgot to mention, it gives you a slight magnet boost while you're boosting, so that's pretty sick. Alright guys, so the next ability we have is called the boost flight, or that's just what I'm calling it. We have 2 types of flight in this game. One where there's like tails flying, and one how the super skins can fly. So I'm just calling this one boost flight because, well, you have to boost to fly. So yeah, you can do this on any super skin, I believe. So yeah, really cool ability. And obviously, if you're Super Sonic or Super Shadow, you can go faster than like Neo Metal Sonic. And as I just mentioned, Tails has flight, so the next ability is normal flight. So it's actually just called flight. If you are Tails, Rouge, Cream, or Charmy, I think those are the skins, you can actually fly like this. So this is really cool, and honestly one of the best abilities in the game. And if you just had a bunch of like stamina chow, this could be so overpowered. Alright, our next ability is double jump. So if you're one of the rider skins, you can actually perform a double jump. I actually shouldn't say like every rider skin, because the only ones I know that can double jump is Riders Amy, Rider Sonic, maybe Darkness Rider Shadow because he's new, and then also Jet, Wave, and Storm can double jump. I think those are all the skins that can perform a double jump, but if there is more, let me know down in the comments below. The next one is called floating or swimming, because if you're angler big and you're going fishing, right, and you're just about to throw out your fishing rod to potentially catch a fish, and maybe you just so happen to fall in. Well, don't worry, because the floating ability or the swimming ability will save you. That's right, guys. Angler Big can swim, which is really cool. This is an ability I don't see talked about like ever, so I'm just giving it a little bit of attention in this video. But it's definitely a really funny one. And also, if you sink right to the bottom like this and then you jump, you just go all the way up. It's so annoying if you were in like no place. All right, the next one is actually the parry. So only the super skins can do this, but if you run into an enemy, you guys can see he does a little parry animation, which is really cool. It's kind of hard to see. I'll slow it down, but yeah, he does a little parry attack, which is really cool. Let me just try and show it again. You guys can see that. Let's try one more time. Oh, dang, you couldn't really see it. Did I say this was the only skin that could do this, though? Well, if you actually have the limited series Knuckles UGC and equip your character while wearing the UGC, you can see it's under my little Hedge avatar, and you run into the Badnik, you can actually do the parry as well. It looks pretty scuffed, but yeah, you can do a parry as well. Something that's so strange though is the series Knuckles skin. So Movie Knuckles, the owner of this hat, can't even do the parry attack himself. Watch this. He just gets hit. Look at him. He doesn't do any parry. So it's just so strange. There's more character abilities after this, but we've got to get the mount abilities out of the way. So in the car, motorcycle, or hoverboard, you can do pretty much the same stuff. So you can actually drift in the car and on the motorcycle, and you can also do a trick. This is all capable on the hoverboard and motorbike as well, like I'm saying. The car actually does have a different ability than the motorcycle though, because if you jump from like kind of a high place. Here, let's go up this rail real quick. And if we drop down, you guys can see I did a little bounce there. That's actually a custom ability for the cars that they added, which is so cool. And it's actually seen in the Sonic Racing games. So it's actually pretty helpful too, because it's helped me jump over like a bunch of fences just like that. So it's so sick. Alright, and then we actually had the mechs because they have some abilities as well. So we can shoot badniks. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then if we go over to these ones, we can punch them. That's so weird to see. Alright, and now back to some character abilities. Alright, so next up we've got gliding. Gliding is currently capable on Fortune Teller Amy, all the Knuckles skins, I think all the Rouge skins, and the General skins. So if we jump from a decently high place, you can do this anywhere, but best to do it on a high place. You can actually glide. Look at that. This has been in the game for a while, but it's definitely a really cool ability, and it really just makes the characters come to life, to be honest. Also, I will be giving away this limited edition gold style Knuckles to one of you guys at 100,000 subscribers. So if you guys want a chance to win this skin, just simply hit that subscribe button and you will have a chance to get this skin. Only 300 in the world exist, and you could get this for completely free. Alright, and next up we have the Chaos Spear. So if you equip Adventure Shadow or just some of the newer Shadow skins, I think, and you go up to some badniks, you can actually Chaos Spear. And look at that. That is so cool. Sometimes it doesn't work though. It's kind of buggy, but when it does work, it's cool. But also, what if I told you Amy has this ability? If we equip Fortune Teller Amy and do the same Chaos Spear button, she will do what I like to call the Cardos Spear. So how cool is that? And she can also glide, as you can see what I'm doing right now. She's gliding. So yeah, pretty cool. Shadow doesn't only have the Chaos Spear, he also has his Chaos Blast. Check this out. So if we go to some enemies right here, look at that. It's a freaking force field. That's so crazy looking. Let's try that again. Ooh, that's so cool, dude. That is so cool. Okay, we got another one. I forget what this one is called. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so if you're Hero Shadow and you go attack a badnik, he actually does his iconic homing attack, which I forget what it's called. I can't remember the name, dude. I'm so mad. But he does his little homing attack. It's so cool. It's really satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. When you do it, it's super satisfying. This is probably one of my favorite skins in the game, but I kind of forgot about him. All right, so this next one actually works on Fortune Teller Amy again, and also Tangle. So if you're just running and you roll and jump, it's kind of weird, but you guys can see I'm doing a little roll bounce. That's what I've decided to call this one, the roll bounce. So if you just spin dash and then jump immediately after, you guys will see I do a little rolly bounce thing. It's very strange. Tangle can also do this as well. Speaking of bounces, one of the most recent abilities that got added was Sonic's iconic bounce. Look at this. So he can actually perform the bounce now, which is super cool. And I'm just honestly glad Sonic finally got an ability, because I've been wanting him to have one for the longest time. And this is obviously from Sonic Adventure, so Grind Shoe Sonic can also do this. Super cool. The next one actually involves the Egg Robo. This one's pretty much the Chaos Spear, but we're just gonna call it Shoot, I guess. So if you're the Egg Robo, either one of the Egg Robos, and you go up to some enemies and you press Q, he will literally shoot his gun. Look at that. That's crazy. Watch this. We're gonna destroy them. Boom. It's honestly better than how the Chaos Spear works, so kind of weird, but this skin is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy that they made one of the props actually like interactable though, because I feel like that's pretty cool. But let's move on to our last ability, and honestly, this one is the most boring one ever, because if you are Pirate Sonic, or I think Pirate Shadow as well, and you go to some water, watch this. He equips his mount, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. He will do this at all costs, and this is just so annoying. Why? Why would they add this? I'd personally rather just not have that happen, equipping a mount every time I go to the water. So, I'm probably not ever gonna equip Pirate Sonic. But yeah, guys, that is an updated version of every single ability in Sonic Speed Simulator. There was just so many. Please consider liking and subscribing, as this video took a lot of effort because there's just so many abilities. Again, if you subscribe, you'll have a chance at my limited gold style knuckles when we reach 100,000 subscribers, so why not hit that button? And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video.